Well, questions are mounting around the Albanese government's funding to UN agency UNRWA after some of their staff were allegedly linked to terrorist group Hamas. And today, the Royal Commission started its third block of public hearings. This time, the focus is on the impact of social media and the reporting of public broadcasters in the rise of anti-Semitism. And joining me now is Executive Council of Australian Jury co-CEO Peter Wertheim. Peter, thanks for coming on this evening. I want to start with the taxpayer dollars that are continuing to flow through to UNRWA despite allegations that some of their employees were linked to Hamas. And the Albanese government has said that they won't be scrapping the $20 million funding. This is outrageous. Surely there are other organisations we could be supporting that aren't linked to terrorists.
There certainly are. I mean, there's the World Food Programme, there's the Red Cross, there's UNICEF. There are plenty of other agencies that we could be directing that aid to. Look, this is not the first time that UNRWA has been embroiled in scandal about its links with Hamas. 2 years ago, we had revelations that 12 UNRWA employees had been engaged in the terrorist attacks in Israel on October the 7th, 2023. These were people who participated in kidnappings and murder and all the other carnage that took place on that date. Now, UNRWA sacked those people while its funding had been suspended from Australia and many other countries. And then the funding was restored and it was back to business as usual. And now we see what business as usual looks like. We've had 101 Hamas-linked UNRWA employees, and that's according to a USAID agency. This is not just some wild allegation out there on social media. This is a USAID monitoring agency, USAID, named 101 people as taking their orders from Hamas, and yet they're on the UNRWA payroll, funded by donor nations like Australia. So this is it's not a particularly sophisticated fraud, but it's fraud nonetheless, and we shouldn't have any part of it. If we want to give aid to people in Gaza who need it, and there's no doubt that they need it, then it should go through these other agencies.
Peter, I want to turn our attention now to the Royal Commission, which heard some disturbing evidence today about the role social media has played in the rise of anti-Semitism. Bondi survivor Arsen Ostrovsky said that he faced a relentless tsunami of Jew hatred online. Do you think the government and tech giants have failed to act?
Well, they clearly haven't done enough. I mean, I think the primary onus is on the tech giants because they have the sophisticated tools to deal with this problem, and they are developing more tools, I understand, but the will to act doesn't seem to be there, at least in the case of some of these platform providers. I mean, the worst offenders really are X, formerly Twitter, and Gab and Telegram, Tumblr. There's a number of them there that are notorious for just allowing the sewerage of comment to flow without interruption. Meta has made some attempts to ameliorate it, but not enough, clearly, and they admit that they haven't done enough and that they're working to do more. And then there is a role for government, obviously, in setting standards and requiring the tech giants to take some responsibility. One of the things that could be looked at would be to give a private right of a legal action to people who have been victimised by some of this commentary that has just gone unchecked and unsupervised. Even if it is, and by the way, it's allowed to flow, even if it is admitted to be contrary to the standards of the social media platform providers themselves. So one way would be to provide this sort of a right of action. It's something that could be looked at, I think. But clearly there is a need for a stronger regulatory role by government and a stronger technical response and will to act by the actual platform providers themselves.
Just looking at the government, do you think ministers should take the stand and answer for policy decisions and say whether enough was done by the federal government post October 7? I mean, the buck certainly stops with Anthony Albanese.
Well, look, let's be very clear about this. We call for the Royal Commission very strongly, and I have complete confidence in the process. The Royal Commissioner and the team behind the Royal Commissioner are a very strong team. And there's a lot that goes on in terms of investigations that we don't see. I mean, we see people being called to the hearings, and that's generally available and live to the public, but there's a lot that goes on that we don't see. A lot of notices to government and to other players requiring them to produce documents to answer questions, very searching, probing questions that we don't see. So there's a lot of investigative work there that is being done, I have no doubt. I don't obviously have a line of sight to all of it because this is clearly confidential and out of the public eye. But I have no doubt that it is being done, and it is being done well, and I think we should respect the process. If the Royal Commissioner wants to hear from government ministers or the Prime Minister, I'm sure then that the process for doing that would be put in train. But it's significant in my mind that during the second block of hearings, there was certain information that the government sought to suppress from the Royal Commission, and the Commission ruled against that. So to me, that means that the Royal Commission is doing its job. It should be allowed to get on with its job. There shouldn't be any sensationalism about it. I think the process needs to be respected, and the gravity and seriousness of the process needs to be respected.
Yes, and it's certainly one that we will be keeping our eye on. Peter, thank you so much.